Mentioned this is making an impact. I'm Chad Porto. He's Marcus Green. Marcus, welcome. We're
Yep.
reviewing last week's Impact, and I found the show that I was referencing on Wrestling Underground. It's AEW Night of the Legends. Here's who was on it. The dark matches where Bill Mulkey versus Dennis Condrey, one man crew spelled KRU, defeated or lost to Rip Sawyer. In the opener, Tommy Dreamer took on Terry Funk. Sanjay Dutt took on Jamin Olivencia next up. Perry Saturn, in his return to the ring after a hiatus, took on C.W. Anderson. Mohammed Akbar. Who is that? I think I know who that is. Muhammad Ali Vaiz. He hasn't done a lot of stuff that I'm aware of. He worked a lot for OVW. That's where I saw him from. He took on Jim Duggan. Oh, speaking of host, Tammy Sitch is on the show with Alex Silva. He took on, I think this is Dave Finlay, actually. Let's double check. Yeah, Fit Finlay. Short Sleeve Samson defeated Abu Shango. I'm pretty sure that's not a properly corrected name. And then there was a tag match that didn't end up happening. It was DDP and Kevin Nash versus the Rock and Roll Express that turned into a one-on-one with Ricky Morton taking on Ken Nash. What the hell is wrong with me? Kevin Nash with Ronnie Garvin as a special guest referee. So it was not a great show, but I've watched this show more times than I can count. It's in a great little expo. Go check it out. It's got a nice little vibe to it. It's not going to be the best show you've ever seen, but you might find it charming. Speaking of charming, I love me some Chris Bay. More specifically, Marcus, I love me some Baylet Club. That's right, we're punning it up. So Chris Bay took on Juice Robinson in a hell of an opener for this week's Impact. Got the win. What do you think of the match before we get to the big news involving Chris Bay?
Man, I dug it. I like they opened it. I like the whole feel like it got a fresh coat of paint on Bay in a way and swag on anything else that we always like seeing Finn Juice. But this Bay's time to shine. The fact that he's joining uh, White's version, this new generation of Bullet Club, his generation of Bullet Club. I thought it was great. Hashtag Beyblade, which I'm also a fan of, both this pairing and Beyblade. So,
That's a great name. I love that for a tag team name, Beyblade. Love it. Post match, apparently, the Blade in Beyblade, Jay White decided that Dashing Chris Bay was finally Baylet Club material and gave him his own Bullet Club shirt. The look, the reaction on Bay's face is fantastic. I love everything about this segment. I'm very excited because if they actually bring in an Impact Bullet Club, that would literally bring the NWO Japan angle to full circle. Because the NWO started in what was it, Florida, Orlando? No, Daytona. And then they eventually branched out to an NWO Japan group that was actually very big and popular. Now, the Bullet Club, which is basically a retread of the NWO gimmick, only in Japan, has an American version now. I love that. More of that, please. Marcus, Baylet Club, thumbs up, thumbs down.
is quote Ares from Disney's Hercules, two thumbs way up. Um,
Thumbs up.
yeah, it's just
Trey,
good
no
stuff.
Trey, no Trey, no Trey, put Trey, thumbs up.
Oh man, got a little treehouse. But yeah, man, it's just like I said, it would have been easy for him to kind of get lost in the shuffle. After all these X Division matches and coming up short, man. But he's the right pick. And obviously, White has kind of brought him into his stuff going on with Fit Finley, so he's up to aggression in that regard. And it's ironic because we were just talking about the concept of Bay turning face, what that meant, but just can't do that with White because you go with whatever pace is dictated, and then White is always looking out for himself. So he's going with that narrative, but I just think this is the rub that he needs. So it's gonna be interesting seeing exactly who follows. As we kind of scouted a couple names, but the good thing about what we're getting in Impact that they really keeping things mixed up. Everything feels like It has momentum with it. All the titles feel like they're important, and people are going after them. That's actually in the company. Um, but also stuff like this and stuff like other surprises that popped up on this show that we're getting to. So.
So we get a little segment with Violent by Design and the Good Brothers. They're enacting their rematch clause at Emergence, but the boys from the Elite or whatever they're calling themselves, they got to go through the Dark Order next week. Talk about a stable I still don't get why anyone cares about. What are you going to do? Fire and Flava tell Gia Miller that despite their recent string of losses, they're going to go back, get it back on track when they face Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering tonight. That takes us to our next big segment, which is Matthew. It's Okada all over again. God damn it! Excuse the language. Matthew fucking drama queen, king, one of those, right? He comes out with Deanna Purrazzo. They're in the ring. Then all of a sudden, Mickie comes out and she's like, "Hey, you! I know who you're facing at NWA Empower, and it's gonna be." Well, firstly, Marcus, I gotta ask. Mickey's outfit for this show. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the thumbs that are up.
It's just,
Rim shot.
whatever gets the narrative across. Yeah, I dug it. Yeah, I mean, look, they all look good. The Deanna is my type of thick.
And you know who.
And Melina has never really fell off.
No, Melina looks fantastic.
So they all look, really good. They definitely, it's nice to see these women certainly know how to dress. Obviously we don't exclude them to their looks. We know what they can do. But yeah, this was a good segment, man. This was some good stuff. And again, Melina blessing us with the splits, letting us be known that just because she's getting older, that she, hasn't forgot the one of her crowning points of her entrance. So that's cool.
We don't discriminate on age. I've said on many occasions that Julianne Moore is still very much my type. Number two, if fans on the internet haven't burnt down Warner Brothers Studio and the CW Studio and whoever is producing Riverdale for their sexualization of teenage boys, we get to say things about women as long as it's not derogatory. We can enjoy their beauty. I don't want to do this double standard bullshit. Like, no. We're not doing that. We don't do that here. We are the mindset that if it's okay for one, it's okay for all. If it's not okay for one, it's not okay for all. So if you want to objectify some bodies, we can do that too, but we're going to do it in a bit more classy way. Mickey's outfit was, how do I say this? A 10! That was a reference to Varsity Blues. A 10! A 10! I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, but you should. It's fantastic. It looks like Mickie forgot her shirt and just said, screw it. Which I'm fine with. She looked fantastic. Sex Pop Mickie from 2006, still my favorite Mickie. The stalker, vagina grabbing Mickie.
Yeah.
I don't know why I like it so much.
I mean, it's we appreciate good commitments to a gimmick.
Oh, hell yeah.
And also, I mean, the way it's sold, like, she was hot and very much a bugaboo, but also the way that she sold because of how she had to make it look like she might have had an older tour.
A little bit.
Which went along with the whole, when you're obsessed, you're obsessed with an exterior thing, so you don't really care about, yourself. So, yeah, that whole thing, man, it's a forgotten thing.
A little bit.
Definitely imitated, never duplicated.
Melina had pockets on her pants, which I thought was hilarious because, like, it kind of looked like she had like a fanny pack sewn into the front of her pants, and I was just sitting there going, "That's how you bring back fanny packs. You just sew it into the front of your pants."
Yeah, I've been really impressed by both Deanna's like casual wear and her ring gear. She's really been consistent with some really good looks.
She stands out, and like that's the thing. Like she's finding her niche, and like the. Yeah. And like this is the thing that I always mention, like whenever like somebody comes out with like a cool jacket or something like that, especially with the men, but they never like wear it in the match, and it's always just like, oh, here's like this, drumline type of like band jacket, and it looks really cool, like the one Aldis has. And then he takes it off, and he's like, oh, and you got regular stupid trunks now. All right, guess you want to look like everyone else. But Deonna actually has incorporated kind of like this queen princess-like dress into her ring gear with like the pointy shoulder pad things that come out, and like the way it kind of like just is kind of like a prom dress down the center, like with that fabric. Like she knows how to accentuate her gimmick in her ring gear, and not everyone does that. Rosemary does, Crazy Steve does, but like, I don't know, Jake something's a good example, but like Steve Cutler, he just wears black trunks. That's cool, I guess. Crew cut white dude with a beard and trunks. I haven't seen that before. And this is a bigger problem like NXT. Like what are you trying to do? At least Sheamus, like think about that. Like Sheamus used to just wear like regular trunks and have spiky hair, but now he was wearing a bowler cap. I mean, it's not much, but it's something. I think Jay Bradley wore that first, though. But Melina comes out, challenges Deonna Purrazzo to Empower. She accepts. Should be interesting. Then we get Taylor Wilde. She's back, and she's like, I think I know who attacked me. The person... all right, so Wilde says that someone reported her as a suspicious person to the border security, keeping Taylor Wilde out of America, which is... That's funny. And that person was named Calvin with a K. That's great. I love that. I completely missed this segment the first time I watched the show. Apparently, that's who she thinks attacked him. That's why she attacked him last week. And she challenges Dashwood to a next match on next Thursday's Impact. So that's cool. I'm down. Kimberly's going full on in the gear with the Su Yung gimmick, calling her mother and promising to bring her souls. I guess Mickie James has finally been one-upped in the stalker department. She never brought Trish souls. I mean, that's something. The next matchup, one of my favorites of the night, probably my favorite of the night, it was Jake Something versus Daivari versus Rohit versus Trey Miguel for a number one contender match. Jake Something wins. And now I'm sitting here giddy with delight because at whatever the next pay-per-view, I want to call it Empower, but I know it's not, but it's something like that. It's like Evidence or Emergence. I think it's Emergence. It's going to be Jake Something versus Josh Alexander and Marcus. I don't know if I can handle that brutality without just fucking giddy, like making giddy sounds, laughing or smirking, and I can't think of words because I'm so excited for this damn match.
Yeah, man. It's two big boys, two horses going at it, man. There's gonna be another outing for Jake Something to show that it was, a good idea. That wasn't a bad idea to have him separate from, Diener, and that they can, obviously, we talk about the name all the time, but this is a guy that can deliver in that ring. Like I've seen him put on some really good stuff, specifically when he's been up against a quality opponent. Like he worked really well against Rohit. And I feel like he got the ability to do the same with obviously Alexander, who has a multitude of styles that he can go with. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. That has the potential to be a sleeper hit.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it. It's going to be stupid big fun. I miss Trey being Goofy Trey. I won't lie. He's a hell of a talent. But I feel like this serious side of Trey isn't really clicking. Although I do appreciate the Spider-Man stylized attire that he's been rocking lately with the kind of the web design. That's pretty slick. I don't know what he's going for though. Like when he was a member of the Rascals, it was pretty obvious what he was. But now that he's Rascal-less, I don't know. But he might not be Rascal-less for much longer, considering NXT's cuts. At least one of the members of the Rascals in NXT is a vanilla midget. The other one's more of a mocha midget, but still. Oh, God, I would love to see the Rascals back in Impact. I did not realize how much I would miss them once they were gone. At first, I was copacetic. I was like, all right, that's fine. But now I'm like, miss those Treehouse segments.
Oh, wow. That came up. Do you think they could be on the chopping block?
Absolutely. My comment of the vanilla and mocha midget was not subtextual. I was trying to be very overt that I think they're next. Once they drop the belts, I think they're getting canned. because they're of that ilk that the WWE doesn't want anymore. So like, yeah, if you tell me you don't want any big prodding centers anymore on your team and everyone needs to shoot a 3-pointer, if you can't shoot a 3-pointer, I think you're going to get let go. And that's kind of what they're doing, only in the inverse. So we'll see. Apparently we're building up to a Cardona Row Heat feud. That's the thing, apparently. Josh Alexander cut a promo about facing off with Jake something. Then Daivari, of all people, shows up. I thought Daivari was working as a producer in WWE, but he's been doing stuff with Impact and I think even with what was it, MLW. So maybe he's not. I'm fine with it. I like Daivari. Should we call him Swolvari? Because he jacked.
Yeah,
Marcus, thoughts on Daivari? What are your thoughts on Daivari?
I like Swolvari. When he first came out, like Jesus, he went and found all the mass and came back with it.
Arya Daivari didn't get released. He was absorbed by Sean into his body. They fused. Like Namekians.
Yeah, homage ood.
Oh God.
But yeah, I dig it. I like the fact he came. It was like, dude, you about to face a guy that was, still figuring out whether he wore boxers or briefs when I was winning my first X Division championship.
And I think they're the same age. Daivari's like 36. Alexander's 34. Like Daivari's young. Like when did he debut? 2005. With Muhammad Hassan. And he was like 19 then. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. I want to see more Daivari. In fact, make that his new gimmick. Make Swolvari his new gimmick. Pair him with Johnny Swinger. That would be fantastic. I would watch the shit out of that. All right, Marcus. I probably have to hold you proverbially because I know the next segment's not exactly going to make you happy. Jordan Grayson and Rachel Ellering in matching ring gear. I think that's new. I don't think they've done that before.
No, me either.
I appreciate it. They look fantastic. They defeated Fayette and Flava after Kira hit a super kick on Rachel, only for Ellering to come back with an assisted black hole slam via Jordan Grace to get the win. Post-match, things go sideways. Kira and Tasha have a conversation, but a woman named Savannah Evans makes her presence felt, walking out and hitting a big boot. I think she's wearing Timberlands, so that doesn't feel good at all. Man, work boots suck to wear, and they suck worse to get kicked with. I know from experience on both ends. And Kira gets written off with a violent big boot. You know, you hate to see Kira go, but you love to watch her leave. But I'm glad that they basically wrote her out. I think this is her last appearance. I might be wrong. But I like that they wrote her out with Tasha Steels basically coming down with a big heavy now in Savannah Evans. I don't like the name though. Like it's very bland. It sounds like someone I went to school with. Like you had Kiera Hogan. Like granted, not the most dynamic name, but it's interesting because the only other Hogan we know of is kind of a racist brother. Yep. And of course the old crocodile hunter, R.I.P. Paul Hogan. And like Tasha Steels, like all right. I dig that. Say it fast enough, it sounds like she might steal the match from you. Tasha Steels. I like it. It works. Phonetically, it's good. Savannah Evans. Present. I don't know. I feel like they could have come with something better. But then again, I don't like modern wrestling names. How many times have I bitched to you about the terrible names of WB talent? I don't even know it. Trey and Trey Wentz and what was his name? I feel so bad. It was Trey Miguel, Zach Wentz, and Desmond Xavier. There it is. Trey Desmond Wentz. There it is. I don't even know what their names are in NXT because I know it's just some generic nothingness. Just so bland and plain. Do you know what they are? What Desmond Wentz's names are in NXT? I'm going to assume by the silence that you don't. It's all right. I don't know either. So, come down. We get Savannah Evans. Big ol' debut. We'll see what happens with these two going forward. Next up, AEW's Frankie Kazarian is doing a little thing, and he's saying that his ongoing war against the Elite has brought him to Impact for the first time in 7 years. It's great to see him.
Yeah, man, it's taking me back to those old days, man, when he was freaking hitting the flux capacitors off structures and whatnot, killing it, with the whole Back to the Future and all that stuff, man. It's good to see him. Last time we saw him was with Bad Influence.
Yeah, when he was bald.
Yeah, yeah. So those guys really, did not get the shine they rightfully deserved, and they oftentimes did the best with some of the worst. So, yeah, it was good to see him.
Love to see him. Great to have him back. Scott D'Amore adds Rich Swann and Willie Mack. I was about to say Willie Swan. Which Swan? To the tag team title match at Emergence after they defeated Violent by Design in the previous week. Then we get Steve Macklin in a squash match against Jah C. It was what it was. Macklin's what he is. Like I don't hate it, but I'm still waiting to see where this goes. Macklin's going to be in a feud with Petey Williams next. Petey came down to make the save with Jah C. Who knows if we're going to see more of Jah C. I'm pretty sure, what's Kurt Hawkins' running buddy? Michael Brian Myers. What's his running buddy's name? Do you remember? With the hair, curly hair.
Man, what's his name? We both like him because he's the best part of the
that
gimmick.
Whole thing, yeah. But I feel like he was a squash with Macklin as well. So maybe Jossie will stick around as well. Maybe that's Brian Myers' new stable. He's just bringing in everyone who gets jobbed out to Macklin. I'd love that. That'd be great. Next week, we have number one contender battle royal involving Chris Sabin, Moose, and several others. Sabin is going to get a number one contender shot by beating Moose. I hope it happens because Sabin deserves all the good things in the world. But I also feel like it's Moose, and, well, Moose is angry. And if you've ever seen an angry Moose, they are very territorial. They just throw their giant, what are they? Are those antlers that they have?
Yeah.
Technically, I guess what they are, antlers. They might be called something else because they're like thick, and antlers are usually like kind of like branchy. But yeah, I digress. We then get the main event. It's Frankie Kazarian with hair and a dope new attire. Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan taking on the Good Brothers. The Good Brothers and Kenny Omega. Excuse me. The Good Guys get the win after Eddie hits a Blue Thunder Bomb on Carl Anderson and then a Boston Knee Party. Eddie's on a roll. Big win over W.M. Morrissey, although it's not W.M. Morrissey, it's just W. Morrissey. And now a win over the tag team champion, Carl Anderson. Frankie Kazarian looks fantastic. I think he's like 43, but he looks great.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you got Sami Callihan, who, looks like Frodo Baggins survived in Fallout. I love Sammy, don't get me wrong, but like
Frodo Baggins.
Like he looks like an irradiated Frodo Baggins. We're all aware of that. He probably has the one ring too. Like we know that. During the celebration though with Eddie's music, Morrissey comes out and lays out Eddie, confirming this feud is not over, and I don't mind. Marcus, are you excited for more Morrissey Edwards?
Yeah, just like I am with Moose and Sabin, man. Like you specifically when it's got, I think on both sides it was like one win apiece.
Yeah.
So this ain't the 50-50. This is the side factor, the grudge match, if you will. So I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of what you need to do with guys like Moose and Morrissey, but also because these are two former world champions. You have to kind of you need to book it like this so that you don't brush aside Chris Sabin and Eddie Edwards, who have been pillars for this company at two different instances. So
you're not wrong. Even Frankie Kazarian made a reference to that about the guys that came before all the current X Division guys that helped build the company. So I like that Impact is really touching its roots with this X Division Renaissance period because they're not just establishing guys like Bay and Alexander and others a part of this lineup, Rohit being another one. They're also bringing back Sabin and Shelley and Eric Young and P.D. Williams and Frankie Kazarian. And these guys were all pivotal. So, yeah, I definitely agree with that. We're going to wrap it up here. We got Lucha Look Back coming up on the stream. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait for that show on Friday on YouTube. RealNerdCorp.com, RealNerdCorp.com. We're on Twitter at NERDCORP. Marcus can be found on Twitter at ParadoxKid, ParadoxKid.
That's me.
You can also find him on his other podcast, The True Penny Show, on Twitter at True Penny Show, TruePennyShow. Find me on Twitter at ChadNerdCorp, ChadNerdCorp, and on Instagram at Chad's Photo at ChadSPHOTOHUT. We're going off to Lucha Look Back. Recapping episode 6. Seeing if King Cuerno finally gets a win. Tune in.